G'day everyone, Brian here, and welcome to what will be our last video in this series of our 7-night safari in the Magnificent Manyeleti Game Reserve of the greater Kruger area of South Africa. Now I'm going to skip forward a bit because it just so happens that our second to last full day was relatively uneventful out in the field. We still had our 4 bull ellies in camp for hours, and they were joined by another bull ellie, so we had 5 then. But let's move on to first our last full day in the Manyeleti, and this was August, and in the horoscope that's mostly a Leo month, and it just so happened to be my birthday, and I'm a Leo, and what a day for lions it ended up being. Nice and clear, very crisp and cold, and we'd heard that the Nauru pride was up around the area around Main Dam, and that's where they kind of generally hang out, which gives me an opportunity to talk a bit about the lion dynamics in the Manyeleti. Now previously I've mentioned the Talamari breakaways in the southern area, the Imbalis in the southern area with their pride made the S8 or Imbali male, and the pride male of the Narus is the Red Road male, who we find quite elusive to find. And the Narus can often be the biggest pride. Now on this morning there was 14 of them. Not doing much, pretty cold, didn't want to move around, but it was still a really good sighting to see 14 of these lions. And just nearby a hippo had come out of the water and was doing his morning feed. Very close to the lions, mind you. Either didn't notice or didn't care, both of them. So we'd heard there was a sighting of Imbiri in the north, Imbiri pride. Now they're the northern pride, or the main northern pride in the Manyeleti, and the pride males there are the Tinswalo boys. Okay, Nchile, Mandevu and Lambile, and I'll talk about them a little bit more as we go along. Now, there are nomads that come in from time to time from Kruger. It's all open to the Kruger Park. The Black Dam males have made some incursions from the south recently, and then the Birmingham pride from Timbavati on occasion will come in from the north. But there is movement, but they're the 4 main ones that I've been talking about. Talamari breakaway, Imbalis, S8 male, Nauru, then Naru's in the centre, Red Road male, and then the Imbiris in the north with the Tinswalu boys. So we headed up there, and there was a beautiful sighting that we had of a female, and she was feeding some young cubs, and there was another little generation of slightly older cubs from the Imbiris there as well. And we were sitting on an embankment in our vehicle, and they were down in a drainage line. We still got some good video and some good still shots. And on the other embankment was Nchile. Now Nchile, the male, had been badly injured about 5 months earlier by a snare around the mouth, and he was on the outs with the pride. They seemed to sense weakness, so he was on the periphery for a long time. When they'd make a kill, he'd be waiting and just got to come in and get the scraps, and little by little would get closer and closer and closer. But that's a story that's developed well since then as well. So when the cubs flew up and we walked up the embankment, she flew up, the female, and gave Nchile a mouthful just to make sure don't go near the cubs. So that was a great sighting, and on the way back, just randomly, every vehicle had already gone back to their camps, respective camps, and we came across 2 females of the Imbiri pride, so 2 more adults, and the male of the Tinswalu, Mandevu. So they crossed right in front of us, sat down for a while, and we were the only vehicle there. So the night drive was a bit quiet. We had a great sighting of a couple of rhinos and a small rhino, but what a birthday. In total, 24 lions. Manyeleti is lion country, folks. If you like lions, you want to see lions, you're almost guaranteed to see them in the Manyeleti. So our last morning game drive that we went out on, the Imbiris were back out up north, and we went up and had that sighting there. There was the 3 males. There was Lambele and Mandevu together. Unfortunately now, Lambele, he was injured and is in quite poor condition these days. Still feeding, but he's not good. But at the time, he was still looking magnificent. So you had the 2 big males, Mandevu and Lambele, and Nchile was still skulking away about 30-40 metres from this crew. and some cubs. Seeing these big males with these cubs sleeping. Again, the wind kind of blowing through. They weren't going to do much again, it was a cold morning. And there was also 4 Imbiri females. Another great sighting of lions in the Manyeleti. After that, headed back towards the area of the camp, and right nearby we came across the 3 Talamati breakaway females. Now, as I've mentioned, unfortunately we've lost 2 of those females, of the Talamati breakaway adult females, but the one that's left is successfully with the 5 cubs, who are now sub-adults and looking in great condition. So that pride overall is doing well. But what a fantastic trip. Manyeleti is magnificent. It's still not known that well even by South Africans. But you should try and get there, and it's very good value in a lot of the camps compared to some of the other private ones around them. So thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed the videos. Take care, and bye for now.